Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on the additional 5 games in Fanatical's Prestige Collection of September 2023. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the link provided in the description below, not only will you gain access to this bundle, but you also have the opportunity to support this channel. Your support would mean the world to me, and I genuinely appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons. A game that brings back the iconic Lee brothers, Billy and Jimmy, in a fusion of classic beat-em-up action with a healthy dose of the roguelike genre. While this title may not be as narrative-heavy as some other recent titles in the genre, it excels in delivering a fast-paced, satisfying arcade experience. The combat in Rise of the Dragons is notably faster and more intricate compared to previous titles in the series. The controls are responsive, making it a joy to take on hordes of enemies. The addition of multiplayer and tag moves enhances the gameplay, but it's a shame that the multiplayer is limited to local play. What sets Rise of the Dragons apart is its focus on building a cash pot as you play. Defeating foes with special attacks or weapons yields more money, and this ties into the roguelike progression system. You use money to purchase permanent power-ups for your character, adding an exciting layer of strategy and replayability to the game. The game offers customizable difficulty settings, allowing you to tailor your experience. The chibi art style may be a departure from traditional Double Dragon visuals, but it works well and exudes charm. The soundtrack, featuring iconic tunes from previous titles, adds to the overall nostalgia. Despite some potential drawbacks with multiplayer being only local multiplayer, Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons is a fantastic addition to the series. It may not feel like a traditional Double Dragon game, but its addictive gameplay and roguelike elements make it a must-play for fans of the beat-em-up genre. Here's hoping it paves way for more dragon-filled adventures in the future. At number 2 we have Sunday Gold, a game that masterfully fuses point-and-click adventures and RPG elements, offering a relentlessly challenging experience with a strong focus on resource management. The game immerses you in a neo-70s near-future world akin to Deathloop, where you'll confront unyielding challenges through 3 chapter heists. Unlike many modern RPGs that fully heal you between battles, Sunday Gold introduces a grueling battle of attrition. You must meticulously oversee a party member's health, stress, action points or AP, and consumables when navigating classic point-and-click adventure puzzles and engaging in battles against corporate security. This fusion feels like merging a hardcore RPG with a Sierra adventure game. Although the battles are decent, the true allure lies in puzzle solving, which benefits from the pressure of managing limited resources. The narrative takes inspiration from classics like Final Fantasy VII, immersing you in a dystopian world ruled by corporate overlords, freedom fighters, and hidden bases beneath dive bars. The game's comic book style art adds a visually striking element. However, Sunday Gold's standout feature is its unrelenting emphasis on resource management. One intriguing aspect is the shared pool of action points or AP for both exploration and combat. Ending your turn during exploration triggers the possibility of a random encounter, requiring a tactical balance between conserving AP and taking calculated risks. This dynamic injects strategic depth into every battle, where timing proves crucial for maintaining your party's health and AP. Sunday Gold offers a refreshing take on resource scarcity and stress management within classic adventure gameplay, breaking away from build crafting and skill checks often associated with RPG adventure hybrids. Although some puzzles occasionally delve into Sierra-style complexity, they add to the game's engaging and thought-provoking experience, forcing you to weigh each action carefully. While the writing leans towards neutrality, Sunday Gold's seamless blend of 2 genres into a unique and challenging adventure prioritizes tactical combat and resource management. It distinguishes itself with its unapologetic focus on hardcore resource management, making it a valuable addition to the genre. At number 3 we have HYPERVIOLENT, a retro-inspired FPS entering a crowded market of retro-style FPS but struggles to distinguish itself. Despite its name, which emphasizes violence, the game fails to offer a unique experience at first glance. However, delving into HYPERVIOLENT reveals a departure from typical retro-inspired FPS titles, resembling the original System Shock more than the frenetic Doom or Dusk. HYPERVIOLENT demonstrates potential but requires substantial improvements to become truly enjoyable. While it provides some narrative context as you respond to a mining colony's distress signal, the game's interface and storytelling are lacking. It offers an inventory system and non-linear levels, occasionally requiring backtracking that feels unnecessary. HYPERVIOLENT's challenges include limited health and ammo, making it frustrating, especially when coupled with slightly inaccurate weapons. The game's gun perspectives create visual discrepancies, making aiming feel imprecise. Enemies primarily consist of zombie-like creatures with basic AI, leading you to favor melee weapons over guns. Levels feel sparse and occasionally confusing, with unclear interactions in the environment. Performance issues such as slowdowns and instability further mar the experience. The game also suffers from bugs, particularly in the inventory system and hit detection. Despite these problems, HYPERVIOLENT offers promise with its unique aesthetic and slower pace compared to modern FPS titles. With substantial improvement and polish, it could evolve into an excellent game. However, at its current early access stage, it feels more like a proof of concept. Consider supporting in its development if you believe in its potential, but cautious players may want to wait for further updates. And number 4 we have GRIME, a unique and immersive 2D Metroidvania game that challenges players with its demand for patience. You begin the game as being made of sediment, with a sentient black hole for a head, on a quest to hunt down the evils of a strange and disturbing world. The game's parry mechanic adds depth to the combat, requiring players to absorb enemies into their heads and gain valuable traits through successful parries. The surreal and foreboding world of GRIME is characterized by its dark and desolate aesthetic, with stark stone and barren rock dominating the landscape. As you navigate this hostile environment, you'll face various threats and bosses that must be overcome. Survival in GRIME relies on utilizing acquired traits and switching between different weapons with unique properties. Upgrading stats using mass obtained from defeated enemies is crucial for progress. The game strikes a balance by offering a challenge without overly punishing players. Exploring the world of GRIME is a joy, with stunning areas and a versatile art style. While the narrative may not be coherent, the thrill lies in discovering hidden paths, facing optional bosses, and uncovering secret weapons and power-ups. In summary, GRIME is a phenomenal hardcore Metroidvania that demands patience and offers an immersive atmosphere. With its unique mechanics, dark aesthetics, and engaging gameplay, it is a must-play for fans of the genre seeking a challenge. Dive into the world of GRIME and prepare to be captivated. And number 5 we have Fobia, St. Dina Hotel, a horror game that attempts to recapture the feeling of classic survival horror. You play as Robert Lopez, an investigative reporter who has received a request to write a piece on the small town of Trestrilla and the strange sightings of a young girl in a gas mask. Your journalistic instincts ignited and you rush off to check into the St. Dina Hotel. While waiting on your client, the hotel suddenly deteriorates around you and monsters start appearing in the halls. Now you must escape the hotel's remains with your life. The funny part about this game is the notes that you find are in Portuguese. You can tell the game to read the notes, which will bring up the translated text. This game is also extremely dark. Not like the story is dark, but it is visually dark, sometimes too dark. It affects certain puzzles as you need to look really hard to see symbols required to solve the puzzle. The puzzles are great though, and you need to solve them to complete the story and access extra resources. Resource management isn't an issue, so you can kill the creatures that roam the halls to your heart's desire, especially if you aim for their heart, as it instantly kills them, saving you more ammo. You can also upgrade your weapons by collecting item upgrades, but this can be slightly tiresome, as you need a lot of item upgrades to upgrade your weapons. You can use a camera to peer through dimensions or time, revealing hidden messages or objects needed to proceed. If you get lost, you'll most likely need to search for a handprint, which denotes that you can see into another dimension to progress further. I just wish that this ability is developed further to include invisible monsters that can only be seen through the other dimensions. That will make things scarier and more intense. Even though enemies can be quickly killed, resources are oddly abundant, and dark lighting can negatively affect the vision of some puzzles, it is still a worthy game for horror fans. And that's all for the additional games in this bundle. Some of these additional games are great, like GRIME's, Double Dragon Gaiden, and Fobia. However, I do note that if you've been collecting Humble Bundles, you may already have GRIME and Fobia. In any case, kindly show your support by liking and subscribing to the channel, and I look forward to connecting with you in the upcoming video.